district.
Welcome everybody to tonight's Committee of the Whole for the Auburn City Council meeting for October the 1st, 2024. The City Council should have the minutes from the Committee of the Whole from September the 17th. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If there's not, is there a move to approve?
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes are carried forth from the September 17th Committee of the Whole. Questions on tonight's agenda? Is there anybody from the dais that has a question for the city manager? Okay, city manager, I know we've got a couple of,
Just a couple of things. You have a other item of business, item 11A, that's a special events retail alcohol beverage license for the Tip-Off at Tumors event. That'll be for the campus side of the event on Auburn University property, not that of downtown itself. And then you also have Exhibit B for item 8C1, which is a warranty deed. Our city attorneys wanted that included in your packet as part of that agenda item. And then last but not least, item 8C2, a forklift purchase has been removed. We're reevaluating the specifications for the forklift.
all right, does anybody have any questions for city manager regarding any of that? Okay, if not, is there a move to adjourn the Committee of the Whole?
So move. Second.
All right, we are adjourned and we'll get started right at 6 o'clock with our regular council meeting. We'll call to order tonight's Auburn City Council meeting for October the 1st, 2024. We certainly welcome everyone that has joined us here this evening. We welcome those that are listening on WANI as well as watching through our streaming channels. Lindsay, with the roll call.
Adams,
Here.
Koblenz,
Here.
Dawson.
Here.
Griswold,
Here.
Mormon,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Taylor,
Here.
Witten, Anders.
Here. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. This is the first meeting of the month of October, so at this time, we will recognize our outstanding employees, including our employee of the month.
We're proud today to introduce you to our October Employee of the Month. I have a memorandum here from Allison Hall, the Parks and Rec Director for the City of Auburn. I'm thrilled to nominate Chris Ondy for the October Employee of the Month. Chris began his employment with Parks and Recreation in March of 22 as a seasonal parks maintenance worker. Staff quickly realized Chris' many talents and skills, and he was promoted to a full-time position in September of 22. Chris's exceptional work in revitalizing Kiesel Park has significantly improved the quality of life for our community members. His commitment to maintaining the park year-round is a testament to his hard work and dedication. His ability to organize equipment, tools, materials has streamlined our operations and increased efficiency. Additionally, his proactive approach to park maintenance, such as cutting trees, picking up debris, and tending landscaping, has ensured that Kiesel Park remains a beautiful and well-maintained public space. Chris has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to his role. His meticulous attention to detail is evident in the transformation of both the small and large dog parks at Kiesel Park. His efforts have not only enhanced the physical appearance of the dog parks, but have also created welcoming and inviting spaces. Beyond his physical contributions, Chris has proven to be an invaluable asset to our team. His friendly and approachable demeanor has made him a familiar and beloved figure among park patrons. His willingness to go above and beyond, whether it's cutting trails, replacing benches, or assisting visitors, is truly commendable. Rob Hollingshead, Athletic and Parks Facility Superintendent, said, "Chris's strong work ethic and dedication has a positive impact on his fellow colleagues, and he serves as a great role model. I'm proud to have him on our team." Chris's contributions to Kiesel Park have undoubtedly enhanced the quality of life for our residents and visitors. His exceptional performance, positive attitude, and commitment to our community make him an ideal choice for Employee of the Month. Thank you, Chris, for everything you do. We appreciate it.
Congratulations to our great employees here at the City of Auburn. Congratulations to Chris Ondy as our Employee of the Month. And we thank all the men and women who have worked so hard to be recognized in these service awards. And certainly want to say all the best to Jason Crook, Charles Neesmith, who many call Bud, Stephen Hicks, and Tyler, our former librarian, for all their retirement. And we look forward to their time away from work and wish them the very, very best. We had no actions to discuss tonight during the Committee of the Whole, so I do have a number of things I'd like to walk through from Mayor's announcements. I want to thank all the congressmen who were here recently for our visit to GE Aerospace this past Friday. Congressman Mike Rogers, Congressman Dale Strong, and Congressman Tom Cole from Oklahoma were in town as we took a site visit out to GE, and we're very excited about all the new technology and all the new work that is going on in GE Aerospace and all the great jobs that are currently being offered there. I want to thank the president of Auburn University and the First Lady for Auburn University for hosting all of our public safety men and women recently for dinners. This is a thank you dinner that has become part of the tradition here in Auburn over the years, and it was very kind of them to open their home up to the men and women who protect us each and every day, and I appreciate the Roberts family for doing that. Last week, the State Aviation Conference occurred at Auburn University's Hotel and Conference Center. There was about 250 attendees here for a couple of days. It's very exciting, all the work that is going on with our tourism staff. You might have recognized that there is a new office on North Gay Street, actually in Auburn, where the tourism office now has an official location here in our community, and we look forward to their continued work. Just some data I just wanted to share with you about activities that they have been involved with just since the calendar year. There have been 51 sporting events held in in Auburn. That is equated for over 11,000, almost 12,000 hotel room nights and 25,000 attendees. Sports represented include swimming, cycling, running, track and field, tennis, baseball, softball, golf, volleyball, soccer, field hockey, lacrosse, majorettes, basketball, wrestling, football, and handball have all come to Auburn on a weekend to participate and have spent money in our community, which is great. Conferences, there have been 37 conferences that have equaled about 6,500 hotel room nights with about 5,700 attendees. So we're certainly grateful for the hard work of tourism and appreciate everything that they're doing. I want to congratulate our industrial recruitment staff for the Elgin announcement that was the end of last week. Elgin is going to invest $100 million into their facility and will end up employing 160 citizens from around Auburn, Opelika, and East Alabama. We're very excited about Elgin coming to our community. And last week, Auburn lost two great citizens, and I just want to mention both of their names quickly. Captain John Lockhart, who was Auburn's second ever African-American police officer, rose to the rank of captain. He left a great legacy as far as mentoring and training a number of men who have ended up being the chief of police in our community. He was a great man. I grew up with a number of his children, and he passed away last week, and thoughts and prayers are with all of his family. And then a gentleman named Brian Henry. Some of you might know him as the bike dude. I knew him from a long time ago as Chunky. He rode a bike around town, worked in the bike shop in downtown Auburn. What makes Brian really special and why I want to mention him tonight is in his free time, he spent most of it with our boys and girls with Auburn softball and baseball. He served on the board for many years. He was always coaching a team. He had the right attitude and the right perspective about youth athletics, and he was a good man, and was just recently inducted into the Auburn Dixie Youth Hall of Fame just this past spring with our former Recreation Director, Becky Richardson. So those are two great men that did a lot to make Auburn the place that it is today, and I just want to mention them, and certainly we'll be praying for their families. Anyone else have an announcement tonight?
I got a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I just want to thank the Auburn University Black Student Union for inviting me to be a part of the panel on yesterday, for having a discussion on the importance of voting and how those students was really engaged in the conversation and asked a lot of questions. It got really political, but it was a good turnout. And so I just want to thank those students for inviting us over, and I've also asked them to start attending some city council meetings so that they can know more about how the system goes and why it's important to vote. Okay, and also on Monday, October the 17th, I will be having a Ward 1 community meeting at Boykin from 6 to 8, and the public is invited.
You mean the 7th?
The 7th. What did I say?
17th, I want to
Oh,
make sure.
Monday,
October 7th.
October the 7th,
Okay.
which is Monday coming up. from 6 to 8 p.m. at Boykin.
Anyone else?
I'd like to echo your words on Captain Lockhart. It was a constant gentleman, meant a lot to this department. Department grew a lot under his leadership. I certainly grew under his leadership. Sometimes I'd question him, and he usually said, well, I'm the captain, that's just the way it's going to be. And I'd say, yes, sir, you got a point. But he will be missed. He loved Auburn dearly, and he loved the Auburn Police Division. I also like to keep our neighbors to the east, primarily in our thoughts and prayers. Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, devastating damage from the hurricane this past week. It's unbelievable what happened in the mountains of North Carolina. We need to remember those folks in prayers. And as always, thank the good Lord that we missed it coming in again.
Mayor, I
Please.
also want to say something about Captain Lockhart also. John Lockhart, Slim, as we called him. He was a very good man, and in 2022, we awarded him as one of our 2022 Unsung Heroes. And I just want, if his family's listening tonight, and I want them to know that he will be greatly missed in the community. And we really appreciate all the things that he did for the city of Auburn.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir, Senator.
I would like to thank the city manager and at least one department, probably several. There's a brand-new fence along West Shawakla Street. It looks safe and sturdy and good, and whoever did that, thank you.
You want to own it?
Anybody want to help me on this? Parks and Rec did that. Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move ahead with Auburn University Communications.
Hey everyone. So last week SGA was able to have breakfast with Mayor Anders. We just want to thank you again for giving us the time to do this. We talked about some of the SGA executive goals this year, one being the Student Center patio project, which is just adding a patio to the Student Center so students can better utilize that space. It has been through 2 of 3 stages of approval by the Board of Trustees, so hopefully construction will start on that soon. And then they're working on a security shuttle tracker. They're looking into different software right now, so that's another thing that's hopefully on the way. And then they received a grant from the state for sidewalk and lighting improvements on Wire Road and Lim Morrison Drive. And then they're looking into doing construction for the pickleball courts and the tennis courts, which would be adding equipment rental stations and just bathrooms out there so students can utilize that space more, and that is like kind of an extension of the rec center. And then they are working on standardized printing across Auburn's campus, so making it the same to print at each printer station. And then the Auburn University 3D map is done and finished and officially running in the Student Center. So it's like a really cool 3D map of the campus of Auburn. So students can use that to help them find their classes or anything else. And then international student tours, they took the first ones last week, which is a super awesome addition. And then also last week in SGA, the 2025 budget went through the Student Senate. And then Auburn University shut down early last Thursday and opened late the following Friday due to the hurricane. And then Auburn also hosted their 5th home game in a row versus Oklahoma University, and we won't have football again until November. And yesterday, a campus roundtable event was hosted that allowed students in different organizations to converse about the DEI bill that was recently passed in March. And then next week marks the middle of the fall semester, with fall break being at the end of the week on October 10th and 11th. And then we have 2 events in SGA coming up, Safety Walk and Heyday. So those are 2 things that we have to be looking forward to. That's all, War Eagle.
War Eagle, thank you, Eagle. I just want to mention, after 5 games, just thank you again for our staff, for those that protect us and those that pick up after us. It's been a long 5 weeks, and certainly grateful for all the hard work, and hope our businesses were able to make a good living the last 5 weeks. It's been a grind, but it's over, and hopefully everybody can get some rest this weekend. So, okay. At this time is citizens' communications on items on tonight's agenda. There are no public hearings on our agenda tonight, so if you'd like to speak to the City Council about anything that we will be discussing and deciding tonight, this will be your opportunity to do that. We would ask that you come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak to the City Council. So anything that's on our agenda tonight. Yes, sir. Evening.
Ron, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How you
So,
doing?
Name and
Well-
address.
Name and address.
Reginald Berry, 1518 VFW Road.
Is this about anything on our agenda?
Not doubt it.
Okay, I'll need to get you to wait to the end of the meeting then.
So you don't want me to,
No, this is just for items that we're deciding on our agenda tonight.
okay. Can
Okay.
I ask a quick question now?
Well, you can at the end. I mean, at the end, there'll be plenty of time for you to talk.
Okay.
You'll have time to come up and talk to us then. Sorry for the confusion. Yeah. Just items on tonight's agenda. Yes, sir.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor and City Council and officials. I'm Stephen Falk, address 576 Martin Luther King Drive here in Auburn, Alabama. I serve as pastor of Auburn AME Zion Church and presiding elder of the Opelika District for the AME Zion Church. I'm here to thank you for all that you do first, and to thank you for being progressively minded. I'm also wanting to thank you in advance and for always promoting inclusion, diversity, and equality for all people. As I stand here tonight, I also thank you for your promise and commitment to provide the cultural center in the Northwest Corridor. Everyone should exemplify a sense of pride about their community. And the sense of pride causes us to take care of our neighborhood and promote its well-being. And having access to the cultural center in the Northwest Auburn Corridor would allow parents and community leaders to teach the wonderful history of all of the people in Auburn and thereabout. The Culture Center will also expose some of the hopeless children to an opportunity to dream and work toward realities, thereby also reducing crime. The Cultural Center promotes a spirit of unity and family as we teach the well-being of our community and history. So tonight I'm here to advocate and to thank you for not allowing cost or any of those things which could possibly be conversation to affect your ability to provide this opportunity to advance our community with this cultural diversity and inclusion. We want to make sure that the community and the children have an opportunity to learn and experience their history, thereby promoting that spirit of pride that will cause them to continue to do the great work that you are working to promote and do today as we continue to move forward. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Who'll be next?
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Mayor and council members. My name is Doris Talbot Hutchison. I live at 606 Spencer Avenue here in Auburn. I've been here 75 years and I've seen a lot of changes in Auburn, and everything's been pretty positive. I've been here, and I'm to talk about the Museum and Culture Center. And it will be a much-needed and welcome addition to our community as well as the city of Auburn. It will be beneficial for generations to come. It will be a place of pride, like Reverend Falk stated, and it will show our children what good citizenship is all about, because we have generations of people that contributed to Auburn community. Like I said, I've been here 75 years, and I've seen a lot of changes, but all of them been positive. Anything, even in the 60s, when we asked for something for our community, we didn't have a lot of pushback because we didn't have a Bull Corner community. We've always kind of come together as a group of Auburn citizens to make things better for the citizens of Auburn. And I'm a proud member of citizen of Auburn, a citizen of Auburn. And we need to have a center that can show our children that you don't have to stay where you are to progress. We have they need to know that Dr. Keith Black grew up on Lincoln Street in the Summer Hill community, and he's the most renowned neurosurgeon there is in the United States today. So any little boy, a little girl that came from Auburn, they have done great things, and we need to let them know that. We can't point to a lot of things because a lot of our neighborhoods have disappeared. Draketown is gone. Backline is gone. Thank God Spencer Avenue community is still there. So we have, and I have a friend that's 92 years old. His mom used to own the Tasty Shop. A lot of y'all don't remember the Tasty Shop. But he's so excited about the museum, he's been digging up stuff that his mama had at the Tasty Shop. And so we just need this. This is a source of pride for us and the citizens of Auburn. So please don't let money stop us from doing what we need to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Who will be next? Anyone? Okay. We will move ahead with City Manager's communications.
Under City Manager's Communications, there will be one item of other business, item 11A, and that's a request for a special events retail alcohol beverage license for the Tip-Off at Tumors event on October 17th. On the dais in front of you is the addition of an Exhibit B for item 8C1, which is the warranty deed. Our city attorneys wanted that included with the information you have as part of the agenda item. And then item 8C2 has been removed from the agenda. That's just the purchase of a forklift. We need to reevaluate some of the specifications of that particular forklift. So it will come back, but just not for this meeting. We also have the announcement of 2 vacancies on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board for terms that begin December 1st and end November 30th, 2028. The appointments will be made at the November 5th meeting.
City Manager, if you would, let me jump right in and I just want to give our community as much information as possible. Both of these current members of our Parks and Rec Advisory Team have served one term. There's one of these members has served a partial term along with a full term. Traditionally, the City Council, if those members of these boards have done a good job, they've been invested, they show up for the meetings, they care about the service and the volunteerism that they provide for our city, the City Council has looked favorably upon reappointing those. That is not a guarantee, but I just want to be honest with our community to let you know that these are 2 members of our community that have only served one term, and if they reapply, more than likely the City Council will look favorably upon their apply. Okay, and we don't know that at this time, so, anyway. All right,
Hey, Mayor, our first item of business is the consent agenda. Does any council member wish to remove an item from the consent agenda and deal with that item individually?
Yes, ma'am, 8B.
anyone else? 8B?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like
Please.
to remove 8C 4 and 5, 8 Charlie 4 and 5.
All right.
Anyone else? Is that good? Okay.
Item 8B authorizes a temporary street closure and the invocation of an entertainment district for the Tip-Off at Tumors event to be held on October 17th, 2024.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Chief Dawson?
Yeah, I'm not against getting together and having a good time, but I feel like it's bad timing to close the streets down at Tumors Corner. We just had 5 home games in a row. It puts our officers through a lot. That's a very stressful time. Having to work 5 games in a row, and I felt they could probably like to have weekends off in October. But unfortunately, we having to do this, and I just don't think it's fair to them. If you do, then I don't mind you being wrong. But I know the council's probably not going to vote the way I am, but I do think seriously that it's an open venue right now, and the way the climate is in the country, I just don't think it's a smart thing to do. I think it could be more controlled in an arena or inside of a building where you can keep up with who comes in and comes out. You're never totally safe anywhere, but yeah, I just see it being a hard time to keep an open venue straight. That's my thoughts on it, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else?
So what exactly is a entertainment district tip-off? What is?
So tip off at Tumors, there will be the basketball team will give a preview to the season at a sport court that's placed at Tumors Corner. We have to close the streets approximately midnight the night before to do that, and then there'll be a concert following that event, a free concert of a major country music act, Cole Swindell, who will play a concert that evening, fully funded by the athletic department and or basketball, but it's a full street closure. The entertainment district means during times that we establish you can walk around with alcohol, only alcohol purchased from downtown businesses, not bring your own beer in, not anywhere else, but from the downtown. They're agreeing to a street closure, and in return, if you're buying food or beverage, particularly beverage, it has to come from that area. There is a separate item 11A, other item of business for a separate alcohol license that has to do with university property for a VIP area where it will not be sold as part of a VIP package, and that alcohol has to stay on campus technically.
So is it necessary that the officers have to be there, or can they get security?
No, this will be, Auburn Police will be involved from the street closure all the way until the streets reopen, and there'll be varying amounts of police officers depending on time of day and what's doing. Setup and takedown take a lot less. As the crowd grows, there'll be more police. There'll be a lot of security sweeps similar to that of a game day around the stadium. Same type of security will be in force. Director Matthews, did you have anything to add to that?
Just that the street closure will be staged as well, so we'll have a internal hard street closure for the stage to be built early on, and then as the day progresses, we'll build out that street closure for the entire corner as people start to come into that space and participate in all of the events. So as we increase that closure size, then we'll increase the police presence.
Yes, sir. Mr. Griswold.
The tip-off at Tumors, I understand the basketball arena will be built in the same place it's been in previous years, right?
Yeah,
right
and
on
the stage will be
corner.
just on West Magnolia, just off the corner.
So will the concert be on Sanford Lawn, or will it be
No,
out
it's
facing
in our
out
street.
to the city?
In West Magnolia, facing Tumors Corner. The stage will be near the southeastern bar is the best way I can describe it. Will, do you want to?
Correct. So the stage is where it has been previously, right in the middle of the corner. And then just to the west of the stage, almost touching it, the court is the stage for the performance. And the court actually turns into a viewing area for the...
Well, do you mean the east? The stage is to the east? I mean, the court is to the east of the stage?
Correct.
Yes.
The court is east of the stage.
Yeah. It sits in Tumors Corner proper, where it's sat the past two times, and the
Right.
stage will be west, like between Whataburger and the southeastern bar, sitting on Magnolia Street, facing Tumors Corner.
Since it's a university-sponsored and paid-for event, why hadn't it be done on the university side instead of on the city side?
They requested to do this at Tumors Corner. Athletic department did. We'll separate that. The university, the request is coming from athletics, particularly basketball.
I'm all for tip-off on the corner. I'm just not sure about a concert in the city streets versus a concert on Sanford Lawn or somewhere that the university has control over.
I will remind you, it's one and the same for police in terms of if it's an outdoor concert and being handled anywhere on campus or on our streets. The university will be funding the public safety effort there. That's part of that requirement. What are we funding? We will fund for our public works team. We will be funding that aspect of cleanup. We're not paying for porta potties or anything else. It's the street closure, the overtime. It is wear and tear on our officers, but that will be funded by the event itself. When we say the university, I want to be careful. The event itself will have to fund all of that.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I was understanding Tommy to say that the officers were tired from the 5 games and stuff like that. So with that being said, is this mandatory or the officers, is their choice?
I'll have Director Matthews speak to that in a minute. I do want you to know that Councilperson Dawson's absolutely correct. This is 5 weekends in a row of 100% of our police force working football. That's what we do, plus help from a lot of area agencies. However, we knew about this event some time ago, and the event was hopeful to be in the month of September, and I'll leave it at that. And we asked that it be moved sometime in October when we didn't have home football games, trying to be accommodating to the event. So while our officers may have to work the event, we tried to get it spaced from the 5-game home stretch as best we could to accommodate the event. Director Matthews?
That's correct. And so staffing is mandatory, not necessarily mandating that a certain officer work, but we will have minimum staffing at different times of the day that will have to be covered, regardless of, whether they want to volunteer or they're being told to work. We have those minimum staffing standards, and it fluctuates during the event.
So what are we voting for the temporary street closing, or are we voting about the officers?
It's temporary street closure, and you're voting on the entertainment district. That's it.
Oh,
Sorry.
I understand this runs from midnight on Wednesday to 0200 approximately on Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So more than 24 hours.
It's correct, and we deploy barricades and do all of those things. It's correct. And I'll remind everybody who's listening that this means, as it is with all home football games and everything else, we are covering our regular beats throughout the city, our full patrol, our full staff is on staff to serve the citizens of Auburn. Football and other things, that's additional people that are deployed to do those things. I always get questions. It's like, no. We fully support the entire city while these things are going on. Plus, we do events and football, and that's why Chief Dawson was referring to some exhaustion.
Megan, this is the 4th time the tip-off at Tumors has occurred?
I believe it's the 3rd time we had an attempt.
We had a rain out first time, I
a
believe.
tropical storm got in the way of.
Yeah, so it's potentially the 3rd time we've had this event. There's no way around explaining that this is the brainchild of our basketball coach, who has had a very successful career and has really changed the trajectory of the program here. It will be highly publicized and highly carried, and there'll be probably a lot of people here that have a future interest in the Auburn basketball program as well as a current interest. The women's program they also participate, so it's an opportunity for them to be introduced and to shine in front of the citizens. And I know this is a heavy lift for our police officers, and I certainly recognize that. The concert piece is a new piece that they wanted to introduce this year. The concert is going to last an hour, Ms. Crouch, or Will, is that what we're...
It's scheduled to be over with before 10 p.m.
Before 10 p.m. There's been a lot of communication and planning in and around this, and I certainly respect everything that you said, Chief.
Let me just add to it, I'm not against Coach Pearl. I appreciate the job he's done in Auburn. But I am who I am, and if I think it's not right and not safe, I'm gonna say about it. And I don't know much, but I know a little something about running security for this town, and I've done it for a long time, did it for a long time. And you're not gonna convince me that it's safer to go get in that open venue down there and with all the crowd. It's just not a good time to be doing it. And if I offend anybody, then you just be offended, because I'm not gonna change the way I feel. Always going to look out for the citizens of Auburn, like I have done, and I just don't think it's a good idea to have an open venue right now in this country.
Anyone else?
Could we have just a short rundown on the events? What I've got down here is the shopping all day long up until 5:30. Is that the first formal event where we have a Coke Fun Zone?
I apologize, because it's the university's event.
Oh, okay.
It's not this, to be clear, it's not the city's event. So there's a schedule that is out online on a tip-off at Tumor's website. But from there, I don't have the rundown of events with me.
Well, what I was getting at is that the people that benefit out of this, I guess the whole town benefits in publicity, and our university benefits in publicity. I wonder if the merchants benefit in sales, if this means a lot to them. I don't know. I didn't poll them, but
The mayor had ensured some checking was done with the merchants prior to this.
Yes, athletics spent time with our Downtown Merchants Association and selected merchants to discuss this. Certainly, if they weren't on board with hosting this event and having their day interrupted, I don't think it would be occurring. And they were comfortable with it. I have met with the Downtown Merchants Association, Jessica Kahn, a couple of times since this became more formal, and she's said they're good to go.
thanks.
Yeah.
If I may, Mr. Mayor.
Please.
I don't like being put in this position particularly. I appreciate the complexity of scheduling, but it seems like there is an expectation that we will just go ahead and pass this thing, given the fact that significant planning has already taken place on the assumption that we'll pass this. I'm not, in principle, opposed to it. I just don't like the order of operations. That's all I've got.
Anyone else?
I'd like to add, I know our officers can handle the event. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's dangerous right now to have an open venue. You can't protect it like you can in the arena or Jordan Hare Stadium. You can't do it. There's no way to do it. And I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to tell somebody what to do something, because there is some area, I do have some very serious concerns about safety. And I appreciate what I'm not trying to be difficult about the event, but I feel like it's my duty to warn citizens what we could be dangerous. And I pray the good Lord blesses it and it goes no problem at all. But free concert, folks coming here from everywhere to hear that concert, it's just, just don't feel good about it.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to echo Councilman Parsons' comments. As noted, it's already been a website out there, our scheduled events and everything else, and now they're coming along asking us at the 11th hour to block the streets. I don't have a problem with the event or anything else, but I think the university and the city need to do a little bit further planning on this. You said you've known about it for months. I don't know why we're looking at it here. It's a last minute do or die kind of operation, but I'm going to be supporting it, but I don't appreciate, as you said, Bob, being put in this position.
Certainly wasn't the staff's doing, and I want to be crystal clear about that to the city council. I had zero control over the timing of this, and at the time that we found out it was a go, we were not prepared to put this on the council agenda that next day, and it did get announced prior to that, and there's a lot of moving parts. Our normal MO is to put this in the resolution that goes with everything else in the month of March. We didn't have an indication at that time. I very much respect where all of you are coming from, not my preference either, and respect the comments and concerns that you've raised, but I also don't want the staff, the planning went on with very little input from the staff. And so once the website and so on was created is when I also learned about the events. I had a big picture idea, but we also heavily rely on the Auburn Police Department as our main liaison with athletics, which they do a good job with that, communicating together. But until the talent was a go, this was not a go. And so I think duly noted, and a lot has been said of what you're saying, and I do appreciate your sentiments, and we will definitely pass them along. But I don't want you to think that my staff's been sitting around planning this for months without the council, not how we like to operate either.
And I'd like to thank you and the staff for the job you did, because I know when it was wanting to put it on, it would have been an absolute disaster there. So I do appreciate you going to bat for us and getting it moved to October. So I don't want that to go unnoticed.
Yes, and we're deeply appreciative of the event. It's just, we had a timing challenge this year that we wish was done differently.
Refresh my recollection on this. The resolution in March, for something to be put on that, we would need like an exact date.
No, we don't.
When?
You can authorize me to do so in that resolution, and sometimes we don't have an exact date. We call the event out at a time and date to be determined, and the city manager will then authorize, and we have a few things
But at
that
that
way.
point in time, we had no idea that this
No,
was-
and we do coordinate those things, and our staffs talk and so on, and I think to some points the mayor's made, we try to be very supportive. University and athletics are a big economic engine for us. We work well together, and we have some great people, and athletics are trying to do this the right way, and just some timing got away from everybody. But duly noted everything you've had to say.
Absolutely. I think everybody's made great comments. I got no way of understanding if we're going to be asked to do this again in the future, but I appreciate everything that everybody said here tonight. You've all added very much to the discussion. Okay, anyone else? All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, all right.
Item 8C4 authorizes the purchase of one 2024 Ram 1500 quad cab 4x4 truck from Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for the Water Resource Management Department in the amount of $48,046.60.
Move for approval.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Griswold?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I noticed that this item, as well as the next one, are both expansion purchases, meaning that we're going to add to our overall fleet. I drove by Water Resource Management this afternoon around 3 o'clock, and there were no fewer than 17 pickup trucks sitting in the parking lot. So I have concerns about purchasing additional vehicles. This one happens to be $48,000, and the next one's $52,000, when we could probably make do with what we have and a better utilization of existing resources. So I intend to vote no on both of these items, 4 and 5.
Any other comments? Anything from anybody? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, motion carries.
Item 8C5 authorizes the purchase of one 2020 Ford F-150 4x4 truck from Stivers Ford Lincoln for the Public Safety Administration Emergency Services in the amount of $52,496.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Mr. Griswold?
Same comments.
Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the consent agenda is carried forth. Ordinances.
Under ordinances, item 9A1 is a request from Leslie Simonton to annex approximately 5.21 acres of property located at 812 Lee Road 415, also known as Winterhawk Drive. The City Council unanimously approved this request at the September 17th meeting. However, there was an error in the ordinance that was included with this item and is necessary for the City Council to consider approving this request again. Unanimous consent is necessary.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with a vote on this evening? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions?
I want to be really clear that the applicants had zero to do this as an error on the staff part, and we checked with our legal counsel, and there was no way to avoid going back through the process. But the applicants had zero to do with this, and they were made aware of our mistake.
Is it appropriate to ask what mistake?
The wrong ordinance was accompanied this agenda item, flat out wrong property. And the first time this ever came up to the council, the right ordinance was with it, something inadvertent happened. And it was caught when we went to execute the ordinances as we double checked things. So I apologize for that error on our behalf, but we had to redo it.
But the conditions of the corrected property are the same?
Yeah, everything's the same, and the applicants had nothing to do. These are the ones on Winterhawk you had very little discussion about once you had your meeting. And the next one that we'll get to in a minute, why that's not before you at the moment, is rung up in it because the second one needs the first one to be officially annexed before you can do that one.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Lindsay with the roll call.
Adams,
Yes.
Oblence,
Yes, ma'am.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Mormon,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor,
Yes.
Yes.
Item 9A2 is request by Justin Shepherd to annex approximately 3.7 acres of property located at 261 Lee Road 415, also known as Winterhawk Drive. The City Council unanimously approved this request at the September 17th meeting. However, there was an error in the ordinance that was included with the Simonton annexation, and it is necessary for the City Council to consider approving this request again. Unanimous consent is necessary.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with the vote on this evening? Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a
Please.
question. On the map that's in here, it shows an area of green. Is that the proposed new optimal boundary, or what? Oh, I haven't seen that on previous annexes. There's no key on the map as to what that color represents.
Our planning director will answer that for you. He's getting there. Scott's got it.
Yeah, so that is correct, yeah. So that is the proposed addition to the optimal boundary, extending to all the lots that take access off of Winterhawk Drive, and the exclusion to the two lots just north of the one at the end of the road and the one to the south. Those take access off of Lee Road instead of Winterhawk Drive, and that is a dirt road, and that is why they are excluded from the addition to the proposed optimal boundary change.
Okay. And at what point will we formalize this new optimal boundary?
Yeah, so we're currently working on putting together the future land use and all the updates to the comp plan right now, and getting that to the planning commission. And then once that goes through the planning commission, it will need to be published, and then it'll come to council for consideration.
I think it's hitting the November Planning Commission or
Yes.
October, November.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So October, November is when it'll go to planning commission.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Okay, Lindsay?
Adams,
Yes.
Koblenz,
Yes, ma'am.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Griswold,
Yes, ma'am.
Mormon,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Anders.
Yes.
Under resolutions, item 10A1 authorizes a contract with C-Spire Business for enterprise storage expansion in the amount of $635,587.86.
Move for approval.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council want to talk about this? Any questions? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10A2 authorizes the purchase of one 2025 Peterbilt 520 chassis with Whitkey Super Duty 40-yard front loader dual cart tipper from Environmental Products Group Incorporated for the Environmental Services Department in the amount of $409,925.41.
Move for approval.
Second.
A motion second. Any questions, comments from the council? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10A3 authorizes the purchase of three 2024 Kenworth L770 New Way Sidewinder XTR 31-yard automated side-loading refuse collection bodies from Sansom Equipment Company for the Environmental Services Department in the total amount of $1,256,127 or $418,709 per unit.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right. Have a motion second. Any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10A4 authorizes a contract with WW Compton Contractor LLC for construction of the Boykin Donahue Campus Project in the amount of $17,104,000. This item was postponed at the September 17th meeting. There is a motion for approval on the table that was made by Councilman Parsons and second by Councilwoman Taylor.
Okay.
The motion on the table is not for the amendment. It was
No,
for
the motion was to approve, so to move the business forward for you to get to discussion, which is where you were at the last meeting before it was postponed. There is an action on the table to approve the project.
Okay.
Okay, I move to amend the resolution to include additive alternate one for the Culture Center, bringing the total bid award amount to $18,234,000 plus a 10% contingency of $1,823,400 for unseen circumstances.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for an amended contract to include the cultural center. At this time, any comments, questions? Ms. Taylor, I was going to ask you first, since you made the motion. Would you like to say something first?
Well, I would love to see, from the people that was here tonight and spoke on the Culture Center, I would love to see this amendment, happen so that we can carry forth the Culture Center along with the other projects that's been proposed. This came up, I think, in 2019 or 2020 sometime when we discussed this, and there was I guess it was put on the table for additional, the splash pad, the library, the Culture Center, and it was another item. What's the other one? Is it the
Recycle Center.
Recycle Center? So, at the time, I think what happened during that talk, it was proposed for the Culture Center and the other items. And we discussed what was the purpose of all of them. And it was going to be a new addition to the Northwest Auburn side. So in the last city council meeting, I think that it was, I asked the question, was this cost already included? And, you know, was it gonna throw us off the budget, or was it gonna keep us in? And so your response, Megan, was?
Yeah, it was included in the budget, you had adopted. That's correct.
So it's not, I mean, even to add the cost, is, are we under, would we be still under budget, or we at budget, or we over budget?
You're under budget.
We'll be over budget. So I think that we should include this, I'm voting to include the amended amount to add the Culture Center.
Okay. All right. Sonny, I think you want to speak as well.
I appreciate the comments of those who spoke in favor of this tonight, Reverend Falk and Ms. Hutchins. We're not sure as a group of the use of this facility, so we appreciate knowing the passion and the need. So thank you very much for your comments on that. I think to a man, everybody up here is probably in favor of such a facility on this site. I'm speaking for the group, and I don't have that authority, but my gut feel is that we're all very much in favor of this. We want to get the job done. We want to instill pride and spirit in our community in every way we can. The question that I ask is that, will this facility handle the need? There's also a cost consideration, not a cost for spending the money, but is it money wisely spent? Is this the facility that we want? And specifically, I've gotten some figures from the city staff and city manager on the cost of the library, which is $385 a square foot, which is fine, that's good. And this cultural center, I think if my math is anywhere in the ballpark, is at least $550 a square foot, quite a bit more anyway, a couple $100 a square foot more. So for something that's not quite as big as my house, which is not that big, it's 1.2 million. So it's startlingly expensive to do this project, but it's a good project. So I'm not opposed to the project. I'm just wanting to do the wise thing here and take careful steps. And I know that other people have comments they want to make, so I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you, Mr. Mormon.
Megan,
Yes,
is that cost per square foot, is that comparable with similar building projects that are constructed on the same commercial standard around the same size? I know.
Probably not a
we're
question we can answer tonight because we don't typically build buildings like this. I think some things you need to remember, the city and the university pay an absolute premium. The city schools do. We have certain buildings that we probably have the least expensive building standards compared to both the university and the schools, because we're not going through state building commission in the same way and so on. But the commercial nature of the structure, I think the city engineer described it as commercial residential structure. We had HOR program management on our hip along the way working on this with us, and they actually estimated the cost to be higher than this by several hundred $100,000. And so it's the nature of building the building a certain way. It's also a replica of a Rosenwald school, so it's got some architecture to it and so on. We also pay a premium for the fact that you've got to jump through all of our bidding hoops, our insurance hoops, and so on. So sometimes it's a little unfair to compare us to the private sector building something on their own property. Could I tell you that we would get a better deal if we bid this later? You have to remobilize, we'll have to fence off an area, we'll have to stage construction equipment and do all of those things. We'd also have to do that if we built a gymnasium on the site, which is acknowledged as well and is in a future phase. So that's just part of it. It would be if you don't do this now, it'd be about 2 years before we could start construction on it. It's roughly a 1.5-year time frame, but by the time we get into rainy weather or other things that could happen, I imagine it'll be about 2 years from now before we get the library and the splash pad and other things open. It could happen sooner, but I don't want to set expectations we can't meet.
Let me ask, so if it would be possible to move forward with the Boykin Donahue project, or would it be possible to move forward with the project and have the electrical and water essentially like stubbed out to a point where we could build on that site at a later date?
A couple of things is the entire grading package for this site, which is massive. If you ever spend time out there and really start looking at the grades, it's a little bit up and down. So one of our big challenges with this whole project has been that, and you'll see in your packets, it's nearly $7 million worth of site work going on. That also includes parking lots and other things, but the city engineer can speak to, we're padding this site out and we're stubbing utilities to a point. Allison, do you want to cover that, please?
Yes, we're stubbing the utilities to within 5 feet of the building.
Okay.
So yeah, it already in the package of the base bid is all of those things, anticipating at some point there would be a building here.
Going back to cost, what additional cost, aside from, this may be a difficult question to answer, do we anticipate if the culture center is approved from a, I guess, an operational standpoint?
So we're going to have operating costs associated with it. We had not estimated yet. It's a 2,000 square foot building, so it's fairly inexpensive. It will definitely be built to modern standards, elsewhere on the campus, our Boykin Community Center and associated gymnasium, because of age of facilities, that's a pretty historic school and so on. We've long been trying to make it much more energy efficient. And so the advantage to this building and being built to modern standards is I don't expect high energy costs because it's got all proper insulation and so on. Right now, based on the programmatic things that we had lightly discussed and have been discussed since 2019, I was not anticipating adding a staff member. The library will be adjacent to this, and we have an existing library staff. Now we're starting, specifically, we haven't talked to you about the full ramp up of that, why we have a plan for that. We're starting out with a smaller staff and Cynthia Ledbetter, our new library director, she's here. She's been involved in the process the entire time. She's worked for the city for 21 years and has a long history with others before that, but she's keenly aware, has a plan that we've always had to ramp that up. But a lot of our librarians, not only are they talented, a lot of them are history majors and good research folks and so on. So we're going to see how that goes. As we would ramp up, we'd have the ability to staff this. So I'm not anticipating, we talk about Lake Wilmore and, Allison Hall, but, that's a $1.33 million a year operating cost for athletic fields and a huge community center. This is 2,000 square feet adjacent to a nearly 22,000 square foot city facility that will have staff there. So I anticipate that we won't have huge staff expenses out of the gate with this one.
Okay, so from a programmatic standpoint, we anticipate having the library staff
correct
take on that role.
And then we've also got interests. Our community services team has been heavily involved this entire time. They're on the other side of the Boykin complex. We've got other departments interested, but at the end of the day, the library is the most logical group to do the most. They already do a lot of programming in Auburn City schools and already have those connections. And so it was, because this is supposed to be a multifaceted thing, also then coupled with volunteers. I imagine I wouldn't call it, we're probably way too small for docents, but we'll have volunteers, no doubt, that will come and speak to groups of people and offer their time and talent. And you heard from one of them tonight who has not been asked to do so, but knows a lot about the history of Auburn and about the neighborhood and so on. And there are tons of other people. And so I imagine we'll rely on some volunteers to help us with aspects of things.
That rolls into another question I have. So it's my understanding that we received a memo that described the intent of the cultural center and some of the cool things it would have. And going through a few of these, an archive was described as a unique resource of history of African Americans in Auburn and the Lee County area, and that archive would include collections of prominent families, pioneers, churches, and social organizations. Question here is, do we currently physically have such collections, or are we going to start acquiring them now?
No, this was a plan that was outlined in 2019 at the beginning of this, and it never got fully fleshed out because we would need a committee that the council would appoint of people to finalize that aspect of it. These were all the ideas when this project came about. Mary Anders and Chief Dawson and others were involved from the Rosa Parks side, which is also mentioned here, and some other things. These were the ideas that were floated at the time of all the types of things that could be done in this, but none of them were finalized or taken further.
Okay, so we would have to, as far as an archive goes, with the library staff would need to go out and collect
Yeah, with
these
either
collections.
a steering committee that you appoint or eventually a board. If we're going to move forward, eventually a board would help make those decisions for us. Yeah.
So same with the reference library and the, I guess, the educational programs that are designed to raise social consciousness and encourage cultural appreciation. Would there be, since we currently don't have any archives, or we don't have a physical reference library at this time, would there be space in the new library to accomplish, at least initially, to accomplish these goals and to sort of kickstart this?
I wouldn't
this
say
project?
as outlined, the way the new library is programmed, there isn't specific space set out for this. And Cynthia, you can help me if I'm off track here. It's set out for its collections and so on, but there wasn't space set aside. There's a lot of meeting room space and other things that are based on the desires of people through the library master plan and many other things. And so it wasn't contemplated here. Could light work go on in the back of house side of either the main branch or this? It's possible, Cynthia. Yeah, but not something we had contemplated as part of that design.
Could, I'm assuming since the library staff would be the ones putting the programs together, could the new library provide some of the educational programs that similar question, some of the educational programs that we're contemplating providing in this?
So part of the purpose of the educational programs was the replica Rosenwald School side of this and the whole education piece that was to go on with that in the building. So part of that, and Scott and Al Davis, am I wrong about that? The purpose was to do the education in the building itself, that it was a replica of the Rosenwald School. Scott?
That's correct. The school itself is a historical monument. So the replica of that school, brings to light some of the early African American schools that were funded by Rosenwald and the efforts of Booker T. Washington. And again, as the memo referenced, Tuskegee, Macon County, Lee County were some of the first 5 sites that were built. So that was what kind of brought this into the overall historic purpose.
Thank you.
Let me just, before you, Kelly, I just want to say that when the idea first came up, and I think it went in the papers and all of that this was going to happen. So there has been a group of people and organizations that have come up with some of this collection. And so they just waiting on somebody to get something started because the collections are there. And so people have already reached out to me saying that they have collections that they would like to put here. You know, if it's, once everything get approved and those type of collections, they're here, you know. And so there's people who actually got collections of, you just wouldn't even believe. And so this would be the place to put those collections. But this culture center not only bring value to Auburn, but it also bring value to people who tour in Auburn, you know, coming in and wanting to see different African-American culture, the culture of Auburn itself, and all that kind of stuff. So I just want you to know that, you know, for the archives, these things are ready, basically.
They just need to be delivered to staff.
Yeah,
So,
they need to be delivered once, if this get approved, yes. And once, you know, I guess staff and whatever board or whatever,
Yeah,
so that they can reach out to somebody to say, hey, I got this, you know.
That's part of the steering committee and/or
Well, I
board
guess-
would be to determine the direction of those things and the types of collections, and yeah.
Well, I guess part of my question, though, is if this actual building were not constructed, why could we not, or could we not move forward with beginning to put those collections together, and displaying them in other locations on the like Boykin Donahue campus, including the new library or the existing community center? Is there anything that's preventing us from moving forward with the programmatic pieces of this, which I think have great value, if we don't have the building?
So for the community center, the way that it is programmed, we do not have a space at this time that's available to do that, or wouldn't be in the hallway where it can't be kept in a manner. We have a lot of great small children that spend a lot of time in that facility, but we also need to be careful with the collection and careful in how we curate things. I want to remind everyone, this is never intended to be a museum with a special heating and air system to pull, you know, this was meant to celebrate a lot of things, to understand things. The library programmatically does rotational displays based on certain things, but wasn't intended to do this piece of it. I'm not saying you can't have a talk or a lecture there. That's absolutely what it's for. This is a separated space. So the community center definitely not slated to do that. And we're at a point with the Boykin Gymnasium and a $30+ million construction that's not on the books right now. It's a later phase of Boykin. So even down to, we've not gotten as far without a board in place about where we would store. 2,000 square feet is not very big. So this isn't meant to be a huge, huge collection. And some of this is rotating, as in you're going to borrow from a family or a purveyor or whoever has this information. You may display for a while and it may go back to them, or we may do some programs, and that's very rotational. And so those are where those things never got fleshed out without the establishment, again, of a steering committee. You guys appoint and or a board who makes these final decisions about all the use. These were ideas about the types of use.
When the new library opens up, will it be like staffing-wise and like space utilization? Is it going to be like 100% utilized, or do we anticipate that it will take a ramp up over a period of time where we would then, you know, we're building up a collection there and building up rooms? So I guess what I'm asking.
Real quick, Cynthia, it is October 1, is her first day on the job. So welcome, Cynthia,
Baptism by fire.
to City Council. Welcome, welcome. Okay.
So, but
She can answer you.
I mean, really, what I'm asking is if there's a ramp up time, could there be a few years where there might be more space available in this new facility to start and house some of these things in anticipation that we may?
Sure. So the plan is for it to be fully operational, equitable services to the current location on thatch. So it will be fully operational. All of the spaces have been thoughtfully designed to accommodate and to provide for all of the different audiences that we serve, from children's all the way to adults. And so all of the spaces there have been, they are to be utilized from day one.
And kind of back to, a lot of this is, we love our Thatch library, but as time has moved on, the way libraries are designed, there's a lot of different functionalities of this space. So it's been designed to address things in the master plan, library master plan that's been. So right now, we've sat down, we've looked at where the spaces are and so on, and other than meeting rooms that are used for different programmatic things we have, and we do have a few study bays here, like smaller study rooms that you don't see in the current library spaces programmed.
And those are spaces that we are consistently asked for from the community. Those study spaces, those collaborative spaces where people can meet and work on projects or, have a meeting, that sort of thing.
Would it be like considerably disruptive to your operations to move some of these items into the library? And to move
Remember that the
operation?
library is not a museum.
Uh-huh.
And neither is the cultural center. So programmatically, we're fine. But when you're talking about an archive, if we were never looking to store materials long-term in any
Either
of these
place.
buildings. Yeah, I mean, library materials, books in circulation, yes. But if we're talking about celebrating a family, the Lockhart family, say, we've heard much about Captain Lockhart tonight, and honoring him, we may borrow things from the family that we do a programmatic thing with that then circulate back out 60 days later. It's not the city's intent to be storing people's personal collections of anything. So just to clarify, yeah.
It's helpful. Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Can I make one further? Brief.
Did you have your hand up, Kelly? I just want to call you first. Go ahead.
I'll keep it brief. In walking through this, I've learned that, and I visited the Boykin campus, and I found it's a very well-used, very well-orchestrated bunch of programs there. There's lots going on at the Boykin campus and very little space left over. And they're great programs, and the place is neat, and it's just a joy to go there. Along with that, we have a very rich heritage from two different points, being the proximity to Tuskegee, plus all the great Auburn citizens that will be featured in this building. And while I'm thinking about it, there is a real Rosenwald school, if you want to drive by one, between Notasulga and the interstate. There's also a Rosenwald school floor plan in North Auburn at the bottle up there on 280. The very first one was in Lochapoka, and it's burned down and gone, but those two still exist if you want to see an original. One was, I think the one in Notasulga and the one in North Auburn was they were built in 1923 or 101 years ago. I'm all for that. I'm all for recognizing what a Rosenwald school is, what the Rosenwald program was. The effort of the community to pull all that together makes quite a story. And I'm all for recognizing local folks like John Dunn, I think if I got his first name right, Officer Dunn anyway, who taught me driver's ed. I mean, just great people that you'd love to hear about again. I just want this building to be adequate. And from what the city manager just said, these things may be rolling through this facility. So from that standpoint, it may not need a lot of storage. It may not need a lot of classroom. It may be adequate. If we feel it's adequate, I don't think it's a bad decision. But that was my concern going in, and I just want to rest easy on that point. So I'll stop now and turn it over to my fellow councilman.
Yeah. Mr. Griswold?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's very admirable. It's something we need to recognize over time. I'm not sure this is the right time, however. We're operating under a budget and a number of plans that are all based on citizen surveys and the needs of the community. And the Boykin project is identified in the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Master Plan some time ago. And it did not include this at the time. So we have a situation where we have to expend the city's resources for something that was not identified by the citizens as a need. And that kind of concerns me. And also, I have a question. I noticed that in the write-up talked about the potential of running school groups through there. Do we have anything from Auburn City Schools that state we have a need for something like this?
Not to my knowledge, and I know you were out at the last meeting. One of the things I want to remind everybody, this is not a kind of how we got here. This is not a staff-led initiative. This entered and kind of resided from council members and some members of the public. So some of those things were not fleshed out, and the horrible thing named COVID is what thwarted a number of efforts where there would have been a lot more information and discussion. We were gearing up right as the shutdown happened to make a big presentation to the council at the time. It did enter the budget anyway that summer and so on. So those things were not fleshed out, but Scott, there was the intent for certain grade levels to go through there.
There was, and there's been casual conversations with the school superintendent that they would be interested in looking at that further as we develop some of the programming through the commission or committee that was formed.
If I may, Mr. Mayor?
Please.
I'm quite excited about it. I've been on this council during those deliberations in 2019, and I appreciate Councilwoman Taylor's reference of formal announcements to some degree in the paper that there was an expectation that this was a project that we as a community could really embrace and make a great opportunity. And opportunity is the word that seems to factor in my appreciation of this moment insofar as the Boykin budget, the complex as it stands now. I think we're $7 million under budget, is that correct?
A little more than that.
A little more than that
Yep.
money that we've allocated to this project. And it's a great opportunity to make a full city commitment to a demographic in our town that is rich in history, that we can all learn something from, that I would be excited to see the collaborative synergy of something like this, if it comes from Auburn City Schools, surrounding schools, the Equal Justice Initiative in Montgomery, the Lee County Remembrance Project. There's so many opportunities for this community to really enrich itself. So I just keep thinking of the opportunity to seize this opportunity. I would say that, I appreciate the caution that many of my colleagues have here, but I would use, for example, our inclusive park as an example of a facility that appeared in our town through fantastic background work of our staff. And all you have to do is go down to the inclusive park to see the public response to it. And I'm totally confident that our staff has the wherewithal and the skill set to really make this a really successful commitment, not only from our staff, but from the opportunity for our community to get involved, to create a steering committee, a board, the excitement from Ms. Doris's talk of so many local people here are ready to embrace this idea, and I'm just absolutely excited for it, and I'm ready to say yes.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Parsons. Anyone else? Anyone? Any further questions or comments? it was myself and Chief Dawson and Miss Taylor that met with a gentleman named Larry DeShera about this item. He called me up and said, I got a great idea, I just got to talk to you about. I really had no idea what he wanted to come talk to us about, but he shared me over the phone, and I asked them to be involved. Former city manager Buston was there. Larry had coached basketball at Lochapoka High School for a number of years, was very successful, had risen to be the school superintendent in Phoenix City and was retired and had moved to Auburn and, had followed local politics and local decision-making and thought that we would be a great community to oversee this kind of program. And I appreciate Larry's idea. There was some initial, I think, anticipation and excitement of this, and the world kind of turned on us during that 1920 year, and it kind of got put on the shelf. And so we're back. And I respect the fact that this is over $1 million, and we don't have a firm plan in place to utilize it. And those that have spoken to that tonight, I understand where you're coming from, and I respect that. I do believe in the next 18 to 24 months, as it would be built and opened, that we could get there. And I would ask the council and the staff to assist in developing a steering committee immediately, if this was approved tonight, that's working towards a board that would be like many of all of our boards, that would be appointed by this body, but would work on behalf of the citizens. To do something this unique and special, it takes a little bit of step of faith. And I believe that that's what this council would be signaling to our community, is we're taking a little bit of step of faith that we're going to have a great idea, there's going to be a great plan, but we're going to celebrate the rich history and heritage of our African-American citizens and how much they have contributed to Auburn. Many of those stories have never really been told publicly in this town. And so I'm going to support this. I was part of the idea generation in the very beginning, and I'm not going to walk away. I'm grateful for all the work that's been done to get us to this point, and I believe and have hope and have faith that it'll be ready for those doors to be open, and there'll be a well-planned, there'll be a good plan of action of how we're going to utilize it once that day comes.
I'd like to thank Connie and Ron, both for your leadership on this entire.
Well, and Chief Dawson, he was there too.
Yes, and Tommy as well, on this entire development. We're bringing in a pretty new library, and also building Auburn's first splash pad as well, and adding much needed multi-use fields and a new recycling center. So I think the entire project itself is fantastic, and I think it's going to make a positive impact on this community. I'm supportive of the vision and the intent behind the cultural center. My reservations lie simply on not having a clear understanding of the programmatic aspect of it right now. I also understand, Ron, and I think you make a pretty good point, that we've got 24 months to put that together. And that would, those 24 months would be, Cynthia to hit the ground running and be tasked with that, so.
This is her first day, so she's on it. I would say to paint a little bit of a better picture, you'd hear a lot more about this next summer as we cruise into the next biennial budget process. If you do proceed, my expectation is there would need to be a lot more information for you by next summer programmatically, because we would need to budget accordingly. I'm not saying there's not going to be an expense, but yeah, that would roll into the biennial budget.
Is there
Max,
anything that would keep us, if this is not approved, from moving forward with the steering committee to begin preparations for a future project?
No, that's at the pleasure of the council. That's up to you guys. But no, I mean, you can.
How'd we go about doing that from a practical standpoint, if we wanted to go in that direction? Just.
Yeah, I think ultimately we can put the framework together. I do recommend, as the memo stated, a steering committee first, because we really then need to talk about some basic things before a board is established, because I need to give the board a full charge of when you establish a new board that you're creating outside of state law by resolution, we need to determine exactly what we're asking them to do and what they'll be in charge of in advising you. The money is yours in terms of it's the citizens' funds, but you help allocate them through the budgeting process. But the steering committee probably needs to shape a few things. And I think you would be looking for a variety of people that clearly understand Rosenwald schools, clearly understand what may be out there, as Councilwoman Taylor has referred to, some staff expertise along the way. And poor Cynthia's, turning white over there, extra in the face. It's her first day, but there would be other departments besides the library that would step in, as she's also ramping up for a brand new building to open 2 years from now. But we can adequately plan for timing. And I'll remind you that the beauty of this whole thing is the city has long occupied this Donahue corridor, and Boykin Community Center is historic in and of itself and very important to the community. However, it is about time that we reinvest and spruce up our own facilities. We haven't had the prettiest looking of facilities facing Donahue. We've worked hard. Our recycling center, while very necessary and very beautiful, right now will look a little bit better where we're not going to be looking at, I know everybody wants to go throw their glass, and even though the sign says you're not supposed to, you can now do that in a building. It's open air, but you won't be facing the street doing that. Katrina's worked hard to get a better design, more functional. And we want to make sure architecturally, if you really took a look at the library, it's beautiful. This building is beautiful, and we're trying hard to signal that we didn't do just any architecture, and that's part of the reason this center is a little more expensive. It needs to be the right look. That's your expectation as I read it, that we're going to do things the Auburn way. And they're going to be a little bit better than everybody else in terms of, that's the expectation of our citizens and of this neighborhood, in my opinion.
Megan, I think you said it well there. I mean, for me, I think everybody up here is supportive of the ideas and what's been placed out here. I want to see, I'd love to see a great, clearer vision of what we can do, but I want this to be done the Auburn way and done well, and I want folks to, and so I really feel like we're colloquially say the cart a little bit before the horse here. If we had a steering committee that we had put together and taken some more time to study what's out there and what we're going to do, I would love to see that vision, and I think there's opportunity for us to do this in the future with other projects potentially. And so I echo a lot of what my fellow council members have said. I think I definitely support the ideas and the project overall. I think we're just a little ahead of the game here from where we need to be further along with the vision and the programming, what necessary for what we can do. Could we get there in 18 to 24 months? That's possible. But I would love to know what's out there, what types of ideas and projects that we can do so that we can do this well, be something that we're proud of, something that commemorates this community well, that educates well. And I just really feel like this is something we need to continue to seek. And I'd like to see us continue the conversation through the steering committee possibly. So.
Anyone else?
Yeah, if I may have another shot at it. In terms of opportunity, it's been my experience in 6 years on City Council, I didn't quite realize how slow government is. And my fear is, well, a couple of things. If we are all already talking about creating a steering committee in the absence of a building, it speaks to the fact that there is an appetite for such a vision. That just adds to the time of establishing a steering committee, being happy with the results of it, and then moving forward with undertaking a building project. I do believe, much in the manner that Mr. Mayor has stated, that we've got 2 years, and I think that's adequate time. And I do appreciate the leap of faith. I maybe wouldn't have that type of leap of faith if I didn't live in this community and have seen the capabilities of this city. So I would say again that if there's an appetite for the process, and I do appreciate the cart before the horse, I absolutely do. But I think those two things can work in hand if there is an appetite on this body to create a steering committee for a Rosenwald-type school, and the opportunity is there for money that has already been allocated. I think it's a leap of faith that I'm certainly prepared to take.
And I also want to say, I agree with you, Bob. And when you're talking about time, Max, you young, so you got plenty of time. I would like to see this happen, during my term. And, if we prolong it or whatever, I may not see that time. So this is something that I would like to see happen before my time expires. So,
I hope you mean your council time.
no, I'm talking about my lifetime.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Ms. Crouch, this would be a voice vote?
The voice vote unless one of you calls for a different style of voting.
Okay, we'll give it a shot with voice vote, okay? So if you vote yea on this, you are voting to support the amendment, okay? All right, correct, Ms. Crouch?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So all in favor of supporting the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
2 nays. Correct?
Nays. Max and Tyler. Okay.
Okay,
That's it.
all right.
Motion carries.
So do we need to deal with the?
So that you voted on the amendment, now it's in the whole project, so now you need to vote on the entirety of the project.
Okay. So need to get a motion in a second again?
Unless, no, you're good, because the amendment's been approved. If you have any further discussion
Right,
about
any
the
further
project in
discussion
its
about
entirety,
About the larger project here?
with the cultural center as
With the
part of
cultural
it.
center as part of it. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and the large project is carried forth.
All right, Mayor, we have one other item of business. Item 11A is a request from Greenwald Hospitality LLC, doing business as B&B Tip-Off at Tumors, for a special events retail alcohol beverage license for property located at 182 South College Street, which will be in a fenced area on campus in the vicinity of Tumors Corner, for a special event to be held October 17th, 2024.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion, a second. Any comments or questions? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, and 1 nay. Okay.
Mayor, those are all the items of business we have for you this evening.
Okay, at this time, we'll open the Citizens Open Forum. This is your opportunity to speak to the council about anything that might be on your mind. We'd ask that you come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak to the council.
Robert Wilkins, 261 Denson Drive, Auburn. Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, Council. I'm going to talk about an exemption clause that should be added to Ordinance 3288 short-term rental. It's a simple one. It says any homeowner who can do the following: bringing proof of homestead exemption document allows any homeowner to have short-term rental, STR, within any zone of the city of Auburn. Note, this will not cover any individuals, businesses, or corporations that have multiple STR homes in the city of Auburn. Example, the situation on Payne Street would have never occurred if you had this clause. They had multiple homes. Also, we get rid of the convoluted zoning that exists in the city of Auburn while allowing fair treatment of Auburn citizens. The city of Auburn had no data concerning individual homeowners, STR, because all of us in our neighborhood in the city of Auburn, we made sure that there was no problem that existed. But we were the ones that got punished. Most citizens were not even aware that the STR citizens were doing short-term rental. It is that the ordinance 3288 to be fair to all citizens. Ordinance 3288 created winners and losers instead of having fairness of all citizens. The Auburn City Council should never approve any ordinance that are impossible to enforce, that are unfair to many citizens. Example, there are many individuals like citizens at the corner of Virginia Street and Gay Street who have been violating Ordinance 3288 for 42 months. From the STR standpoint, renters are confronted with STR. They can just say they're cousins or friends of the homeowner. Nothing else the city can do. Also, ordinance 3288 STR says 2 or more persons residing in a single dwelling unit where all members are related, plus 1 unrelated person. Example, any person is such as 3 unrelated LBGTT plus friends, 2 single families, 3 or more construction workers, or 3 Auburn students, etc., are violating ordinance 3288 and can be fined up to $500 and jail time. I see this law broken daily while making my Uber Eats deliveries. There are hundreds of groups and families in the zoned areas that do not abide by the short-term rentals or abide by family definition. So let me go over it again. Exempt clause ordinance 3288 short-term. Any homeowner who can do the following: bring proof of homestead exemption documents, allows any homeowner to have short-term rentals STR within any zone in the city of Auburn. This is fair. This is something you should consider. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Who will be next?
Susan Bolt, 1188 East University Drive. I want to circle back and address the two-tier justice system that I discussed at the last city council meeting. During that meeting, I stated that there was a house owned by the mayor's campaign manager when the proper title was his campaign consultant. The mayor attempted to divert the attention from the relationship when it would have been easy just for him to admit it. If you will remember, I did not mention any names when referring to the house in question, yet the mayor knew exactly who I was speaking about. The house in question is owned by his campaign consultant, yet we are led to believe that the city can't issue an appropriate citation on this property. If you will remember, I exposed this location, had received a citation before, but it was given to a guest from Louisiana instead of the local property owner. Then I was told that the city can't find anybody there when they go by, yet I was able to walk up and photograph and speak to them personally. Mayor, with the campaign disclosure records, Facebook post, your campaign logo on his website and such, why were you trying to be deceptive? Why didn't you just clarify that you had a relationship with this man? Let me be clear. I don't have a problem with any short-term rentals anywhere in the city. What I have a problem with is the two-tier justice system perpetuated in the city of Auburn. To address another statement that was made during last council meeting, I was speaking about the mayor and his conflict of interest and the fact that he should have recused himself from the vote on ordinance 3288. The city manager mentioned that the hotel location had been approved approximately 1 year before passage of 3288. While that may be correct, let's address the timeline. Conditional use approval was first passed May of 2020. Ordinance 3288 passed March 2021. An extension of conditional use for the hotel was passed June of 2021. As I stated last meeting, construction of the hotel did not start until after the passage of Ordinance 3288. That's just fact. Coincidence? I don't think so. If you are a casual observer to the city council meetings, you might be easily confused by comments like those by the mayor and the city manager. The mayor sold his family property to build a hotel. The mayor met with hotel owners in March of 2021. One day after the meeting, 3288 was passed. The mayor should have recused himself from the vote on 3288, which would have denied a majority vote and passage. Construction did not begin until after the passage of Ordinance 3288. As you can see by the facts that I again laid out, my original statement was and is true. Shame on you, Mayor, and shame on you, City Council, for not fixing this mess. You have an ordinance that can't be enforced and one where the City of Auburn unconstitutionally spies on its citizens when there never really was a problem to begin with.
Who will be next?
My name is Reginald Perry. I want to.
Address again, Mr. Perry.
Reginald Perry, 1518 VFW Road.
Okay.
Now, I had correspondence with, I think, Scott Cummings and you, Mr. Mayor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to address is the property across the street from my mother is 1571 VFW Road. I can't seem to find anything that states that someone owns it, other than someone paying taxes on it. So there's no deed on it. Now, Scott gave me NC 14, which is a zoning law. So I discovered that I'm not sure if he's telling me that we can build anything we want there, or there's something about how that construction is being done. I asked him for a permit. He said we don't need a permit. I thought anytime you build something, you need a permit. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, I think there's an issue with that property and the zoning and our neighborhood. So we don't want to lose our neighborhood. According to what the lady said on Spencer, right? She said she lives on Spencer. The back line is gone. Drake Town is gone. So what we're looking at now is look like gentrification to me. I don't know, but hey, I could be wrong. I don't do politics. I'm a soldier, so you know, I just like the mission. So I'm thinking that we should probably look into how that property is being sold. Because I don't know who owns it, but yet they're building on it. It says it's in Cecil Day's name. I think Cecil Day is dead. So how can you be selling something when you're dead, and how can you not probate it before you sell it? So I'm not sure what they're doing over there across the street, but I think you guys should look into that. Now, who owns that area? Which ward is that?
That's me.
So that's you.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So you guys see that, right? This Max, right? He's in Ward 7. So we probably need to address that. I'm not going to be able to come down here every week and talk about this. I don't live here, but on behalf of my neighborhood, we need to try to figure out how we can preserve that neighborhood because of just what she said. The back line is gone. Drake Town is gone. So maybe we should try to figure out a way to zone that so it can be historical land, so that you cannot build something $600,000 across the street from the houses that are 1,800 square feet. So I think we probably want to look at that and address that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because if we don't, we're going to lose that neighborhood, which you guys don't call it a neighborhood. That's right, it's not zoned like it is. So you call it land, so you can build anything you want on a piece of land. So if you put a historical view on it,
Thank you, Mr. Perry.
I think we can get a resolution.
Thank you. Who'll be next? Anyone? Okay. We'll close citizens open forum. Anyone on the council have anything?
And Ms. Crouch, can we get some clarification? That's an NC-14 zone. It's a neighborhood conservation district. What is exactly what that means? And as far as it, assuming a building permit had to be issued to do a construction
Yeah.
project there.
Right. Well, an NC-14 zone, neighborhood conservation 14 means a 14,000 square foot lot minimum.
Okay.
But it means it's absolutely allowed to build a single family detached house. It's a 1.1 acre parcel, so it's quite large. It does have some water challenges, and I'll have our executive director of development services, Scott, it is permitted, and he can talk about the ownership piece as much as we can say.
Yes, it is permitted. I think Mr. Perry did ask questions about a permit being posted on site. That's not a requirement of the city, but it is permitted, or they wouldn't be able to construct. The house, we have seen the deed. The deed was deeded to the current owner who's building the house through the estate of Mr. Day. So that's, from what we can tell, that's all followed due process with the sale of the property.
One challenging piece for us is we're not allowed to just provide those documents to anybody. We have to get a public records request to provide what we have in files that we're allowed to provide. And so we can't just email it over. And so that's just to be consistent in what we're doing. But very much understand that the neighborhood has concerns. What we're challenged with, and so is the City Council and Planning Commission, is somebody meets the zoning criteria, they meet all of our permitting requirements, even if they're building a much larger house than other houses in the neighborhood. If by our laws they are allowed to do so, we are helpless from a legal standpoint to ask them to do otherwise from the staff side.
And can you speak, there's a state law recently passed regarding property tax increases. I think it goes over the next 3 years, a property tax cap. Can you speak to that a little bit?
There's just a cap on the increase based on valuation raising values in the area, and it's a 7% cap. There's also, and we discussed at the last meeting that this came up, that they are depending on your age and abilities. There are other exemptions through state law that I did some light research, and some people in that vicinity do have those exemptions based on what I can see in the Lee County tax assessor database. But people can always reach out to Olene Price's office, the revenue commissioner, to make sure they've got the right homestead exemptions depending on their personal status and income level and age.
And there was a few members here that, at the last council member, I did get their information. I have spoken with the county appraisal department as well. They hopefully should be reaching out to make sure all those exemptions are in place. Any kind of work that they can do to help with that, we certainly want to do that. So they have been contacted, and I will follow up to make sure they reach out to all the folks that live on VFW Road. So just want to clarify that we are working through that in whatever way that we can from a city to help, but it's a county valuation decision at the end
We
of the day.
also have our Director of City Relations back from a little bit of leave, and she can also coordinate further with some folks in the room tonight that we may not have their contact information in case you want to call a meeting.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You referenced possibly making a historic designation about, a selected group of homes. I do live in a historic district that has protections. There are processes that a group of citizens can get together, but it does require 100% request from everybody in the area that you're proposing a historic designation. And I'm sure the city staff would give you steps to take and what all's involved in designating an area as a historic district.